The tragic case of Retta Cruse and her daughters. On September 8, 2021, a devastating call sparked a tragedy that would ripple far beyond the confines of a single Phoenix, Arizona home. Two children, 4-year-old Royal McIntyre and 9-year-old Aleyah McIntyre, were found lifeless by police, a sight that no first responder, neighbor, or family member could ever forget. A tragedy made even more shocking when their mother, Retta Cruse, was charged with first-degree murder only days later. This episode isn't merely a disturbing recount of crime. It is a reflection of the cracks that exist in society's systems, mental health, familial monitoring, and institutional support. It seeks to examine the heartbreaking details surrounding this catastrophe, understand what could lead a mother down such a dark path, and urge all of us to pay attention to the warning signs in others before it's too late. On the night of September 8th, police officers were dispatched to what would soon be described as an unthinkable scene. Inside the home, they discovered 4-year-old Royal and 9-year-old Aleyah dead. Both children reportedly showed signs of having been drugged, with investigators later piecing together that their mother, Retta Cruse, had administered fatal overdoses. What began as a quiet night in the Phoenix neighborhood turned into tragedy for everyone who watched as the children were taken away, never to return. A community stood silent and stunned in the wake of the loss of 2 young lives, and whispers of questions began to echo. How could a mother do this? Had someone failed to identify the signs? The authorities wasted no time in launching an investigation following the children's deaths. Statements from those who knew the family shed light on Cruse's fragile mental state. Friends and neighbors reported that she had struggled in recent months. Rumors circulated about stress, unmanageable responsibilities, and mounting pressures. By September 16th, Retta Cruse was formally charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. According to evidence, the overdose had not been accidental. This was deliberate, a fact that made the unfolding story all the more difficult to process. Why would a mother, the very person meant to nurture and protect, take such a devastating turn? As investigators pieced together Cruse's story, an undeniable factor kept surfacing: mental health. Those close to her revealed moments of emotional instability, pointing to a mother overwhelmed and spiraling. This case forces all of us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Mental health struggles, left unaddressed, can fester into calamities that devastate not just the sufferer, but everyone around them. Was Cruse too ashamed to seek help? Was her distress cloaked in silence, unnoticed by those who might otherwise have intervened? Her story is not new. Many family crimes stem from unresolved mental health issues. The stigma around seeking help often forces individuals to bury their struggles until the damage is irreversible. As events unfolded, Cruse's arrest and murder charges sent shockwaves through her community. Prosecutors built their case around the deliberate nature of her actions, citing evidence that the fatal doses were carefully administered. Her legal journey began, one that would test both her mental resilience and that of her family. Facing charges as serious as 2 counts of first-degree murder meant the potential for a life sentence, or even the death penalty. But before the justice system could deliver its verdict, events took another tragic turn inside the walls of an Arizona prison. On an ordinary day in an Arizona prison, Retta Cruse's name made its final headline. She was found dead, having taken her own life while awaiting the judicial process. Her suicide added another layer of heartbreak to an already unbearable story. It left behind a myriad of unanswered questions. Was this an act of guilt? Despair? Was the weight of her actions simply too much to bear? What we do know is that Cruse's death left her family, her community, and even those following the case from afar, grappling with a painful lack of closure. Without a trial, there would be no full exploration of the motivations or events that led to September 8, 2021. This case is more than the story of Retta Cruse. It is a tragic example of how familial violence leaves an indelible mark on everyone it touches. The deaths of Royal and Aleyah leave a hole that can never be filled, not just for their immediate family, but for the community that mourns them. Fear, sorrow, and a sense of failure radiated from Phoenix. Could someone, anyone, have stopped this tragedy before it happened? Were the signs visible? Was there a missed opportunity to help Cruse find a way out of her despair before it manifested in irreversible destruction? Families everywhere struggle under the weight of unspoken conflicts and mental health challenges, making this case a grim reminder of what can happen when cries for help go unheard or unseen. One crucial lesson from this tragedy is the need for early intervention. So often, people in distress cloak their struggles in silence, fearing judgment or repercussions. But silence can be deadly. If systems of support, be it friends, family, or professional outlets, break through the stigma surrounding mental health and familial conflicts, lives could be spared. True prevention requires vigilance from all sides, whether it's a neighbor noticing a change in someone's behavior, loved ones asking tough questions, or systems equipped to act swiftly when issues arise. The deaths of Royal and Aleyah were preventable, and that is a reality we cannot ignore. At the core of this unspeakable tragedy are two innocent souls, Royal and Aleyah. Royal, a joyful and curious 4-year-old, and Aleyah, a bright and spirited 9-year-old, were taken far too soon. It's essential to remember that their story is more than their deaths. They mattered. They had friends, dreams, and entire futures ahead of them. Let their lives be a reminder of the importance of protection and care within families and communities. Beyond the personal pain of this case lies a series of societal lessons. It forces us to confront the shortcomings of our systems, child protective services, mental health support, and justice, to wonder how we fail the most vulnerable among us time and time again. It spotlights the devastating combination of untreated mental illness, societal stigma, and insufficient intervention. How many cries for help are being ignored today? How many more Royals and Aleyahs could we save? As viewers of this tragedy, you are not powerless. There are steps you can take to prevent similar tragedies. Learn the signs of distress, both in children and adults. Advocate for mental health services in your local community, pushing for greater accessibility to those in need. Support organizations working to end familial violence, whether through donations, volunteering, or raising awareness. If you see something, say something. Intervention, even small, could save a life. By taking action, you contribute to a culture where such tragedies no longer remain inevitable. The story of Retta Cruse and her daughters, Royal and Aleyah, is not an easy one to hear, nor should it be. It is a sobering reminder of the fragility of life, the deep wounds caused by familial violence, and the consequences of unmet mental health needs. As true crime enthusiasts, we are drawn to understanding the why and how of such tragedies. But as people, it is our responsibility to ask how we can prevent them and honor those lost through awareness and change. Royal and Aleyah deserved better. Retta Cruse deserved help before it was too late. Let us remember the lessons from this dark chapter and strive for a future where no family has to endure such pain. End the video not with answers, because there often aren't any, but with an urgent plea for compassion, vigilance, and action. Make their story an emblem of what we should never allow to happen again.